Joining us now is Rich Hoffman, Executive Board Officer for the Scientific Coalition for UAP Studies, and also has appeared on shows like Proof is Out There, History's Greatest Mysteries on the History Channel. I know many recognize you. Rich, thank you for being here.
Nice to be here. Thank you for having me, Natasha.
So, Rich, the witnesses have mentioned what the crafts look like. We know David Grush said some are the size of football fields. David Fravor talked about, of course, that tic-tac-shaped one. And we just heard Ryan Graves talking about cubes. Does this variation in accounts surprise you?
Not at all. I'm nearly 6 decades into this, so I've heard it all, I've seen it all. I've played leading roles in investigations for various organizations, and the bottom line is that shapes have varied over the history of the phenomena, the recorded history of the phenomena, for a very long time. And you have a situation where you've got everything from, like you might have heard of flying saucers or disc-shaped objects back in the 50s to, the fact that you have triangles and various other shapes all throughout reported history. So it doesn't surprise me that you'd have anything like a cube and a sphere or a tic-tac shaped object. We've had things like dumbbell shaped objects. We've had mostly spheres and a whole variety of things. So it's quite common.
In your opinion, have these UAPs always been out there, but now they're just easier to see and detect with our improved technology?
Well, people have been reporting them for a very, very long time, and pilots have been reporting them for a long time. They've been picked up on radar all throughout history. There are many radar cases. There are many other types of sensors that have picked up on them. Our sensors today have evolved to the point where they're much more capable than if you think about the traditional radar going around in a circle. You might have seen those radar screens in the days that they are. Now we got things like phased radar, and we have various other kinds of sensor technologies that allow us to detect these things, and especially on $1 million, billion-dollar aircraft. So we equip them with the best stuff, and so suddenly, Ryan Graves' equipment is updated to the point where they're seeing a large number of these things. So for me, it's a pleasant surprise that we're having those technologies, and we need to adopt those in our studies going forward.
Yeah, can you explain, is there any concern about our technology and where we stand in our abilities at this point? It did strike me and stand out to me that during the hearings, they mentioned a couple of times the ability to jam our radar systems.
Sure. Let me clarify that we've had many cases where the objects have actually jammed navigation systems, missile launch systems on our aircraft. They've been detected in deep space satellites coming into our atmosphere. There's a whole host of these types of things that have been reported. Our enemy, will be able to do those kinds of things. So it doesn't necessarily warrant that it's, ET, if you would, that's doing it. But the bottom line is that we are concerned about being able to study them, especially if they can impact our equipment.
We had another guest on yesterday, Ben Hansen, who believes that things should be revealed gradually to the American public. Let's take a quick listen together.
We do need to be a little bit careful as how quickly we release this information. I think even though I don't like it, we call that the drip method. Gradually, slowly, let people acclimatize to this, because it's going to be a shock if we just dumped it all out right now.
Okay, so this prompted quite a reaction from our viewers on social media and News Nation's YouTube as well. Do you agree with him? Do you think that there could be just mass hysteria if all of the bombshells, all the information the government has is revealed at once?
This has been dripped over the years. in 2017, the government announced the fact that they exist. Did we have anybody jumping out of buildings or going crazy at that point? No. I think what you have is a situation where we're not back in the world's time period. A lot of people have acclimated to the fact that there are objects that we can understand or identify. I do suggest that they consider their approach in terms of releasing the information, and they might develop an action plan that includes, how do I address the religious aspects of it? Because there's a lot of religions that think that these are the devil, and the demon. You have other, people that have even stranger beliefs. So I think that we need to coordinate it from a global perspective. It is a global phenomena. And I think that we also need to, consider the fact that if we do make an announcement, that it might have impacts on other countries.
Certainly. I mean, and that's a whole other can of worms. Rich Hoffman, I really appreciate it. I appreciate your time. It's a big topic. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.